Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 43 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and it's just me this evening. Dan has a family commitment, but he'll be here next week. For anyone new here, we do these live streams every single Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific. That's to make sure that we're in tune with you guys and we're using our product every single week, and just to make sure that we're answering your questions and making the best possible product for you. And also, we always go through our pillars every week, and those are ease of use, stability, and professional looking streams. So if you're about those three things, StreamYard is probably the tool for you. There's lots of people here already. Thanks so much for hanging out and tuning in. Michael, thanks for joining us. I hope we get the ability to stream to Twitch soon. Twitch is definitely on our radar and will come relatively soon. I noticed they're actually making some exciting changes. I saw that they have a new watch party feature similar to Facebook, but it integrates with Amazon Prime, which is pretty cool. So that definitely makes it appealing for people outside of the gamer community. T Chang, thanks for tuning in. Adam's X-Points, thanks for hanging out with me tonight. And yep, just me. So thank you for the questions. If you guys have any, please let me know. First subject is, of course, StreamYard chat updates, which we're both pretty excited about. Dan is not here to express his excitement, but we're both pretty excited about them. Unfortunately, we don't have monetization on our channel, so we can't show it off, but I do have some pictures. So there's actually quite a few things that changed with the chat. The one that's probably most exciting for people is super chats. So it used to be kind of boring when you got a super chat. It just looked like a regular comment and simply showed the amount, but now it actually shows the proper color, and you'll see the timers at the top. I'll show the picture will make a lot more sense. Let me throw up the picture here. There you go. Those aren't real super chats. We faked them for the image, but you can see that it will show the proper color, and at the top you can see a little. It's hard to see there, but there's timers based on the donation amount. And I think I asked a second ago if anyone had tried it out, and it sounds like some of you have gotten a chance to do that, which is awesome. Venus says, "Wish I was monetized to test it out, but soon, very soon." I hope you do. I hope you get it soon, Venus. Dave got a chance to try it out. That's awesome. Just asked Shar another 500 subs for the super chat button. I hope you get there really soon. I'll make sure I subscribe. Adam's X-Points, I haven't Gage. I send super chats, though. I can't receive them yet. The 4K hours is a killer. I'm hovering around 3K. I didn't even know about that requirement. They have a lot of requirements. George Hayes, thanks for tuning in. Let's see here. Rosemary says, "Hey, what's the new updates coming in 2020?" Well, right now I'm going through the chat updates, so that'll come that's 2019 changes. But I'll talk about that towards the end of the stream. We can get into what's coming in 2020. The next part of chat updates is moderation options, which I know has been a problem for some people, where they will get trolls in their stream, and if you don't have a moderator on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're streaming, it can be a bit stressful because you have to go over to Facebook or YouTube and deal with that. So now we actually have, I've got a picture for this as well. We have some options in the studio itself. So in comments that come in, there's 3 dots. And if you click those 3 dots, you'll see some options that are custom to the platform. So for YouTube, you have an option to put the user in a timeout. I believe that number is 5 minutes. Dan would know for sure. We'll ask him next week for the time, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 minutes. And then the option to block the user entirely. And then for Facebook, the options are relatively similar. So you can delete the comment or block the user. Hopefully I don't have to try it out tonight, but if if I need to drop the ban hammer, now I can do it right from the StreamYard studio, which is pretty cool. And yeah, if any of you had a chance to try that, let me know. I know that it would have been helpful for us in the past. Just it hasn't been a huge problem, but a couple of times it would have been nice to not have to go over to YouTube and deal with that. And the final change, which has actually affected us, but it will only be noticeable to you if you receive lots of comments. So before we made this change, if you had, like, say you're receiving like a couple comments every second, when you're receiving that many comments, it used to be very hard to sort of scroll up to previous comments and show them on screen, because while you were doing that, the sort of chat would move on you. But we've fixed that now. So now when you scroll up, I've got a picture for this as well. Now when you scroll up, it will pause. It won't pause the chat, but it will pause it for you. So you can sort of scroll back to past comments without the chat moving. And if you need to quickly go back to the most recent comments, you can click that new comments button there. And I know this was a huge issue for especially some of our bigger streamers. So hopefully this is a useful change as well. Let's just go back to the comments here to see if I'm missing anything. Nancy, thanks for tuning in. Hey, Bonnie, nice to see you here. Odanto Money from Brazil. Nice to have you here. There's lots of people from Brazil using StreamYard now, which is very cool. That's something that's on our list, is to support Portuguese and do localization for some of the new countries that seem to be where StreamYard seems to be picking up. Hangout, I love StreamYard. Thanks so much. LaShawn says, are we talking about green screen yet? I'm not discussing green screen, but that does come up a lot, and it's something that's on our radar and something that we're considering adding. Hey, Richard, thanks for tuning in. Hey, Vincent, nice to see you here. For anyone that doesn't know who Vincent is, he produces the Chris Hansen Take a Seat with Chris Hansen show, which is a very popular, exciting show on YouTube Live, and he runs the company Venn Interactive Media, which is a great company if you're looking for web design work or video hosting or a whole suite of other tools. Vincent's the guy. It's been great collaborating with him on Chris Hansen's show. Yes, definitely. It will definitely help with Chris's chat. Hopefully that helps you, Vincent. I don't think it wasn't up for this last Sunday, so you wouldn't have seen it. But this next Sunday, it'll be a lot easier for you to click the comments. Adam says, another huge issue in chat is allowing guests to post in StreamYard and have it appear on YouTube. Yeah, that's something we'd like to add as well. The main thing that just has to be done there is we have to have a prompt for users to log in. That's pretty much the only thing that's stopping that, is because for us to post a comment on their behalf, we sort of have to have that YouTube information or YouTube login information, or not login information, but we have to have access to their YouTube account, which is fine. It's just something we need to add. It might also be useful when we start adding more features for sort of closing off a StreamYard session. So that'll be a nice way to sort of gate who can come into your StreamYard studio. We'll of course make it optional, because we want to make sure that for people that want the lowest barriers for the guests to come on, that they don't have any drop as far as functionality. But for people that do want to sort of restrict who comes in and have a better sense of who's there, and then have extra features like the ability for guests to comment, that's definitely something that's on our radar. Chosen says StreamYard is being used all over on YouTube. That's fantastic. Great to hear. Yes, Leo, you mentioned being new. I think I missed one of the comments. Oh, doesn't matter. Let's see here. Michael says, any chance we could get live chat versus top chat? We actually missed some chats. Possibly. I'll have to check what's possible for us to access in the API, Michael, but I'm guessing that is something we can access, so I will look into that. Let's see what else is here. Jay Nice is a fan of Vincent. Right on. Hey, Lucy, thanks for tuning in. Nerfenstein says, just wondering if there's a limit to the amount of branding you can add. So there are some limits to everything on StreamYard, but they're all very, very high. So I don't think you'll run into them. I honestly don't know the exact numbers. I'd have to go back and look at our code base, to be honest with you. But if we sort of put it at limits that we thought people wouldn't run into, and if people do run into it, let us know, and we would consider raising that limit. So it's just sort of an arbitrary limit that's there, but I don't think you'd run into it, because we made sure we chose things that were quite high. NLTMW says Stream Deck support, especially to mute audio. So the first step of that will be hotkeys, and we would like to add hotkeys for a variety of reasons. Like, I definitely understand wanting to be able to quickly change layouts or show a comment without having to sort of take your eyes off the camera potentially. And then once we add hotkeys, that will allow people to easily use the Stream Deck, and then hopefully eventually we'll have a full Stream Deck integration through an app, which would be pretty cool. The Hozo Man says, sorry if you've been asked this, but do you plan on having a share option to share your stream? Um, I'm not 100% sure what the question is. So you can't. So we for scheduled streams, posts are generated on the platform. So if you schedule a post to say YouTube and Facebook, you can go over to those posts and share them out wherever you like. We certainly want to set people up for success. So I think anything we can do as far as helping people get the word out about their streams is something we're very open to adding. So if you just mean buttons inside the StreamYard studio itself, as far as like a quick button to share it out on Twitter or to encourage your guests to share it out, those are certainly things we're open to adding. But right now, no, it would have to be done. It would have to be done on the destination platform. Let's see here. Ven says, he asked about, I lost the comment here. Streamlabs donations with StreamYard. That comes up every once in a while. I honestly haven't looked too much into Streamlabs, but if that's something that's important to people, it's definitely something we'll consider adding. D Showtime is also a fan of the Stream Deck. Hangout says, me and my friends love StreamYard. We're having fun with it. That is great to hear. Leo says, so should I go ahead and ask my question? Yeah, absolutely. Let me know what the question is. Just starting using StreamYard. I hope it's going well for you. Gian, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Armando, hola as well. Mimac, saludos de Mimac MX. I'm not sure where that is, but greetings to you as well. I spelled your name as Gage, but I noticed others spelling it as Gage. Yeah, my name has a strange spelling. Nerfenstein says, thank you. I haven't hit a limit. Just wondered. Yep. If you try to hit it, you'll eventually hit it. But I don't think under normal use that you'll hit the limits. My Bourbon Journey says, love using StreamYard. That's awesome to hear. I like your channel name, My Bourbon Journey. Is it like a bourbon tasting or reviews and things like that? That's a cool name. 3D Printing says, would like to rearrange guest pics once uploaded. So I don't know if I'm understanding that correctly, but one thing that comes up a lot is people wanting to change the layout that we have where the host is big and the others are small, to have one of the guests big and everyone else small. And that is something that we do plan on adding. If that's not the question, 3D Printing, let me know and I'll do my best to answer what you were actually asking. Mimek says, La plataforma es muy buena. I'm not great with Spanish, but I think you're saying the platform is very good, and I appreciate that. Any way to add quarterly payments to the basic and pro payment offerings too? It's certainly possible. No one's ever actually asked for that before. I'd be curious what the reasoning is behind that, Barry, if you don't mind telling me. I'm just curious. We would probably, so right now we just have monthly and annual, and then annual comes with a discount. So it's certainly something that's possible to add. Adams agrees with 3D printing. Michael says if you use OBS, you can use Streamlabs OBS. Yes, that's another tool that you can use. LaShawn says your customer service is awesome. I ran into an issue and it was corrected as soon as possible. That's great to hear. We actually have, so people that are used to me answering on the StreamYard page, we actually have someone else helping out with that as well now. So it might not be me you're talking to, just keep that in mind, but I'm glad things are going well there. Oh, Don2 Money says, how many people can be in a stream call at the same time? So right now it is 6 people on screen, but 10 people total in the studio. So you could have 10 people at the bottom and cycle up to 6 on screen. So take someone out, put someone in. I know that's a very popular request that people want added to StreamYard, an option to have a higher number of participants. And that's also something that's high on our list as far as things. So I guess there was a question earlier, remember, about things coming in 2020. That's something that will most likely come in 2020, or maybe even earlier in 2020. Who knows? But it's something that is important to us. Agree, Reportify. I asked the same question. I would love to support, but price point is a bit high. Sorry, I must have missed the earlier question. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. We'd like it, but the month pro rate is too high. If there was a $14.95 price, we would sign up. I appreciate the feedback. So one option for you is we do have a referral system, which is pretty cool. So if you refer people, You can get a month free every time someone you refer signs up. So that's one way to sort of mitigate the price there. Charlotte says, yes, button for guests to share. They always forget. Yeah, that's something that's pretty easy to add. And yeah, I like that idea because it's definitely an easy thing to prompt guests to do. And usually it's something your guests would want to do because they're part of the stream, right? Why wouldn't you share it? And it seems like an easy way for us to sort of help people get the word out about their stream. So I'll definitely note that one down. Wired Talk says, Gage, any plan on having a quick end stream option, having the option of recognizing a particular video clip or image as a kill stream button? That's an interesting request. So having the option of a particular video clip or image as a kill stream button. So correct me if I'm wrong and I'm interpreting this incorrectly, but I'm thinking maybe you're looking for something where you can just end a stream with a specific clip so that there's no sort of black screen or cut towards the end, that it's just a clean ending. And we're certainly open to improving that. It's something that's sort of hard, especially with starting streams. When we start sending a feed to, it's also platform dependent. So when we start sending a feed to places like LinkedIn or Periscope or YouTube, when we start sending it is not necessarily when they actually decide to start showing the stream. And with some platforms we know, and some platforms we don't actually know the exact time it goes live. So that stuff can actually be more complicated than it seems. But as far as a clean way to end the streams with an outro, that's something we're open to as well. Let's see if I missed anything else here. Michael says, I know I ask every week, but please add comments below our guest video or a full page comment that covers everything full page. Noted, Michael. Thank you. The comic book says, hello, nice to see and hear about new updates. Glad to hear. I think there was some other subjects I had here. The time's running. Thank you guys for all the questions. It definitely helps when Dan's not here for me to be able to answer your guys' questions. So I appreciate the participation. Oh yeah, so there was another part of the comments is we actually store more of them as well. I don't remember the exact numbers. I think we stored 120 comments before, and we upped it to like 150 or 160. Dan will confirm next week. I don't remember the exact numbers, but basically what that means is when you're getting a high volume of comments, we just always store the last like 160 comments, and they sort of cycle through. Another thing I wanted to cover is I've been sending out StreamYard surveys. I think probably about 20% of you have probably gotten the survey, and I really and we've gotten a lot of responses on them. So I really appreciate those of you that have taken the time to fill them out. It helps us sort of choose the direction that we're going with StreamYard and decide on what to work on next. So if you guys get those surveys, I really appreciate those of you who choose to fill it out. Last topic I wanted to cover is LinkedIn comments have been coming up more and more frequently. And it's something that LinkedIn has said in the past that they will add eventually. And so we're just sort of waiting on LinkedIn. As soon as LinkedIn opens up access to the live comments, we'll display them in the studio, just like all the other platforms. And hopefully that happens soon. We'd love to add it. So that's the only thing that's stopping that. It's not like we're choosing not to add it. Charlotte says, my LinkedIn destination was wrong. Had to switch to personal page and it hopped on the right one. Glad you got it sorted. Nerfenstein says, you're not going to stop StreamYard though, right? I only just bought it and the top question of the survey had me concerned. No. We're not stopping StreamYard anytime soon or ever. It was just that question is just sort of to figure out if any of you have ever read material from the guy who was in charge of growth for Facebook. He recommends asking that question to sort of filter the types of users that you have. So I understand the concern, Nerfenstein, but no, StreamYard's not going anywhere. It's just to help us figure out the different types of people and how they're using StreamYard. All right. Art says, send me one. If you haven't gotten it yet, Art, again, it's only been about 20% of people that have gotten it. If you're regularly using StreamYard, you will eventually get the survey, and I appreciate you wanting to fill it out. Pete says, multi-streaming still working beautifully. That's great to hear. Barry says, thanks for answering, by the way, Barry. It is helpful to know. It's just easier to come up with quarterly payment amounts than for yearly, especially when you're building live streaming as part of your hobby and not a business. Good to know. I appreciate the feedback. Adam says he answered the survey. I appreciate that. Dave says co-host option coming. Co-hosting is also, someone asked about 2020 plans. That's definitely something that's on the list as far as things we'd like to add. Jay Nice says, thanks to Adam Exploits. Rich says, is there a help or user guide that explains all of the features? I don't know how to screen share as a guest. So yes, there are quite a few tutorials. So if you just go to help.streamyard.com, it'll take you to the place where you can find our docs. I think also if you just go to streamyard.com in the top right, you can find our docs, and that will walk you through all the major steps. Screen sharing as a guest should be pretty straightforward. You have the same button that you would have as a host. So if you're in the stream as a guest, there's a button that says share screen. You just click the share screen button and select what you want to share. And then the host will see that you're trying to share something and can choose whether or not they want to display that in their stream. Hopefully that makes sense. Rich says 1080 coming soon. 1080 is another one of those things that's on the list that we're considering. The Hozo Man says, will there be a Twitch TV destination? Yes, we will be adding Twitch as a destination. Charlotte says she's getting a lot of good responses from the LinkedIn stream. I'm glad to hear that. Joe says, not sure if my comment came through. Any chance of making a file section in the StreamYard group for common overlays, such as subscribe to YouTube, like on Facebook, etc.? So I'm guessing you just mean like a better way of organizing the overlays, Joe. So we do have brands, so you can sort of organize things that way. So if you want to have, like, if you go to the brand section in the top right, there's like 3 dots, and you can choose to create more brands. So you could have like a brand for one show and a brand for another show. So that might be a way of you being able to sort of group common overlays. But it might be a better way though of just grouping entirely different shows. So I'll look into that and think about how we can make accessing common overlays easier for you. LaShawn says, I use StreamYard at least 2 times daily. That's awesome. Jean, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Are there any videos to see how everything works? Yes. If you're watching on YouTube. So on YouTube, if you go to our playlists, there's a playlist that walks through how pretty much everything works. It goes through all the basics, and then you can also learn about the newer stuff like multi-streaming and recording. Seek says, I'm also making a Udemy course, so you can learn it just making time. Awesome. I appreciate that. Brian Stavely says, multi-stream has a glitch. When I stream to Facebook and YouTube, after the video goes on YouTube, the show description keeps getting erased. I have heard a couple people mention that, Brian, and I think it might have something to do. YouTube's changing a lot of stuff with their live control room. So I think it might be related to that. But either way, we'll make sure, whether it's on our end or YouTube's end, we'll make sure that it gets fixed. But as of now, I'm not 100% sure whether it's something on YouTube that's causing that or our end. But I have heard that. Charlotte's also a fan of co-hosting. Kateri says, you live in Canada and your costs are higher. If we buy a membership, it is cheaper for USA members. I do live in Canada, and the Canadian dollar is weak, if that's what you mean. I agree with that. If I'm misunderstanding, let me know. Art says, I believe I did fill one out. I'm not sure, though. Well, whether or not, thanks, Art. Pete says, any updates on the affiliate program? I've had new users not know about it, so perhaps you should promote it a little more. Yeah, I'm always surprised how few people know about it, so we should probably do a better job promoting it. Technically, it's a referral program, not an affiliate program. But yeah, if you click on the top right of StreamYard, if you go to your account, you can see that each person on StreamYard has a custom referral link. And if you share that link out or send it to your friends, if they sign up for StreamYard, you'll get a free month, and there's no limit to how many people you can refer. So technically, if you get enough referral credits, you could use StreamYard for free forever, which is pretty cool. Professor Nez, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate seeing you here. Gian says, you mentioned a help screen, did not catch the address. It's just help.streamyard.com. And also, if you just go to streamyard.com in the top right, there's a link in the top right of near your My Account billing that will take you to the website as well. Tommy says, I like that my Nightbot shows up in StreamYard chat now. I haven't actually done much testing in Nightbot, so I'll have to check that out. Mike, they're MP4 overlays for now. That's also something that we'd like to add more support for is allow people to use different video formats, but for now it's just MP4s. NLTMW says co-hosting is really needed for people who stream while making and building. Having to stop often to manage is frustrating. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. As an alternative right now, we don't officially recommend it unless you trust the people that you are streaming with, but you can actually have them log into your account, and in that case, they'll have all the host controls as well. But we would like to add a more formal way of adding co-hosts. So I definitely appreciate the need. Thank you, Nancy. Yes, that is the link. The Hozo Man says, when I show banners, it seems to disappear the name I select. Is there an option to have both? There's not an option to add both right now. I'm not sure if we'd add that or not. It was sort of a design decision because when you show a banner, we sort of figured when you're showing a banner, you want people to be focused on the banner. So that's why that works the way that it does. Same with comments. But if it's very important to you, let us know and we will potentially reconsider. I don't know that we will actually add that, but I appreciate the demand. Thanks for tuning in, Nikki. Art says, how do we know if someone if someone clicks and signs up with our link? In the referral section on StreamYard, you can actually see some of your stats, which is kind of cool. You can see how many people clicked the link, and you can see how many people signed up, and you can see how many people upgraded, how much credit will be applied to your account. So you can find all of it on StreamYard. If you just go to the top right in referrals, you can find all that information. For privacy, we don't show you a specific email or name of the person, just raw numbers, but all the numbers are there. You also will get an email every time you get a credit. We'll shoot you an email that says like, hey, you just earned a $25 credit. So that's one way to know that you're getting the credits. Looks like we're rapidly approaching 6:30, so I think I'll wrap things up here. I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. We actually went over 80 viewers tonight, which is pretty cool for a stream that was just with me. But Dan will be here next week. Adam's Exploit says, oh, by the way, that reminds me, if you have a 3-person setup, the banner covers up one half of the bottom panel member's picture. Yes, people have mentioned that with comments as well, that they would like an option to sort of move things up, and that's something on our list to address. Patricia, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Pete, and thank you everyone else for tuning in tonight. That's a wrap for episode number 43 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thanks all of you for hanging out with me. I really enjoy doing these, and I will see you next week, same time, Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific. See ya.